Hi, today we're going to do lesson 5-1, comparing and ordering rational numbers. A couple of things that we are going to learn about. Multiples. A multiple is the product of a number and any non-zero whole number. So for example, the multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and they keep going. Okay, so multiples are when you multiply a number by something. The least common multiple is the smallest or the least of the common multiples of 2 or more numbers. So the multiples of 2, as we said, are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Okay, the multiples of should be the colon there. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, and so on. And you'll notice that the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 4 have more than one number in common. Okay? The least common multiple would be 4. Because it is the smallest number that they have in common. To find the least common multiple, we can do what we just did. We can list out the multiples of numbers. Okay, today, both the school baseball and the school soccer teams had games. The baseball team plays every 6 days, and the soccer team plays every 5 days. So baseball is every 6 days. So the next time they're going to play is in 6 days. After that, 6 more days, or in 12 days from now. And then 18 days from now. And then 24 days from now. Okay, and then 30 days from now. And then 36 days from now. Okay, you see how that works? And then the soccer team plays every 5 days. Okay? So they're going to play in 5 days, in 10 days, in 15 days, in 20 days, in 25 days, in 30 days. And there's the magic number. It matches up. 30 days matches up. So the next time they are both going to play again is in 30 days. You can use prime factorization to discover the least common multiple of two numbers. So we are looking for the least common multiple of 12 and 40. So we're going to factor 12 and we're going to factor 40. Okay? When we factor 12, we say, is it even? Yes. So it's divisible by 2. That leaves us 6. We divided that by 2 and got 6. 6 is also even, so we're going to divide it by 2 and get 3. Okay? So we're left with 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. That is the prime factorization. 40 is also even, so it's divisible by 2. That gives us 20. 20 is even. It's divisible by 2. That leaves us 10. 10 is even. It's divisible by 2. That leaves us 5. 5 is prime. So 40 can be written 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. Okay? Now, it's easiest at this point to write these with exponents. So we write 2 squared times 3 and 2 cubed times 5. Now, at this point, we're going to say the LCM is, and then we write each factor that shows up ever. So 2 shows up, right? 3 shows up, and 5 shows up. However, if you'll notice, 2 shows up 2 times here and 3 times here. So for the least common multiple, we take the largest exponent. So that would be the 3. And so that means that it is 2 cubed times 3 times 5. Okay, 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay, so this is 8 times 3, which is 24. 24 times 5, which is 120. Okay, now that seems like a lot of work, right? There is a slightly faster way if you only have two numbers. Okay, you can factor them together. 12 and 40. You write them right next to each other. You say they are both even. That leaves you 6 here and 20 here. They are both still even. So we divide them both by 2. That leaves us 3 here and 10 here. 3 is prime, 10 is not prime, but does not share a factor with 3. So we are done. And so that's when we say, okay, we're going to use these and these. Okay? So we write 2 times 2 times 3 times 10 for the least common multiple. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 10 is 120. It's a little bit faster to do them together, but like I said, that only works when you have only two factors. This one down here where we've got 3, you won't be able to do it this way. Okay, you have two options, but not those two. Okay, so using prime factorization to find the least common multiple. 6 and 16, I'm going to factor them together. Okay, 6 and 16. They're both even. That leaves us 3 and 8. And 3 and 8 don't have any factors in common, so we're already done. 2 times 3 times 8. 2 times 3 is 6. Times 8 is 48. Okay. 9 and 15. 9, 15. They are not both even. In fact, neither of them are even, but they are both divisible by 3. That leaves us 3 here and 5 here. 3 and 5 have no common factors, so we're done. That's 3 times 3 times 5. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay. This next one has 3 numbers. We are going to have to do this the original way by factoring them separately. So we go 12, 15, and 18, and we factor each one separately. 12 factored is 2 times 2 times 3, so that's 2 squared times 3. Okay, 15 is 3 times 5. Okay, 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. So that's 2 times 3 squared. And as we did up above, we write down each factor that's mentioned, 2 and 3 and 5. And the largest number of 2's, we have an exponent of 2, and we have just a 2. So we're going to use that exponent. The largest exponent is 2. Here we've got a 3, here we've got a 3, here we've got a 3 squared. So we're going to say 3 squared, okay? 2 squared is 4 times 3 squared, which is 9. So 4 times 9 is 36, and 36 times 5 is 180. So the least common multiple of 12, 15, and 18 is 180. Okay, when we find the least common multiple of a variable expression, use the numbers first. Find the least common multiple of the numbers first. So we have 6 and 18. I'm going to do these together since I only have 2. They're both even. That leaves me 3 and 9. They are not both even, but they are both divisible by 3. That leaves me 1 and 3. So my number part is 2 times 3 times 1 times 3. 2 times, I'm going to leave the 1 out, 3 squared. Then you look at the variable. We have a squared and a cubed. Which one of those occurs more? Well, a cubed has a bigger exponent. So 2 times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So 18a cubed is our answer. Okay? So on the variables, you just look at them. Each variable that's mentioned gets mentioned, and whatever the largest exponent used is, that's the one we use. So looking at these down here, we have 12x and 15xy. We're going to do 12 and 15 first. Okay? This one's even, but this one's not. They are both divisible by 3. This leaves me 4 and 5. 4 and 5 do not have common multiples. 3 times 4 times 5. Okay, there's an x mentioned. There's a y mentioned. So there's one x here and one x here, so we only need one x and one y. 3 times 4 is 12, times 5 is 60, so my answer is 60xy. Okay. 8m squared and 14m to the fourth. So we're going to use 8 and 14 to start. They're both even. 2. So that leaves me 4 and 7. 4 and 7 do not have any common factors, so we're left with 2 times 4 times 7. Our variable is m. It's the only variable mentioned. 4 is my larger exponent, so that's the one that gets listed. 2 times 4 is 8, times 7 is 56, so the answer is 56, m to the fourth. Okay. Our last example on this page is 25y squared and 15x. So we're going to do 25 and 15. They're not even. This one's divisible by 3, but this one's not. But they are both divisible by 5. That leaves me a 5 and a 3. 5 and 3 do not have any common factors. So it's 5 times 5, or 5 squared, times 3. We have an x up above and a y. Remember, we always put our variables in alphabetical order. So we always put the x before the y. The y has a squared, so we're going to need that. Okay, 5 squared is 25. 25 times 3 is 75. And our variables are x, y squared. Okay, when we compare numbers, we can put them on a number line. That's an easy way. Now, when I made this number line, I put 11 spaces between the 0 and the 1. So I can count to 9 11ths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 11ths. Okay? And 6 11ths is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's right here. That's 6 11ths. So clearly, 9 11ths is larger than 6 11ths. And we would put k greater than sign in there. Over here, we have negative 1/2 and negative 1/10. Here's my 0. Here's my negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be halfway. That's negative 1/2. Negative 1/10 is just right here. Negative 1/10. So negative 1/10 is clearly larger than negative 1/2. The least common denominator is the least common multiple of the denominators of 2 or more fractions. It's just like finding the least common multiple, which we did earlier. Okay, the math team won 5/8 of its competitions, and the debate team won 7/10 of its competition. Which team won the greater fraction of competitions? So, what we're asked to find is, with 5/8 and 7/10, which one is greater? Well, we need a common denominator, so we find the least common multiple of those two numbers, 8 and 10. They're both even, 4 and 5, so it's 2 times 4 times 5. 2 times 4 is 8, times 5 is 40, so our bottom number is going to be 40. Some of you may have already known it was going to be 40, and that's fine. Okay, to get to 40, it's 8 times 5, right? So 5 times 5 would be the top number, which is 25. To get to 40, we multiply 10 by 4. So we're going to multiply 7 by 4 to get our top number, and that's 28. 28 is greater than 25. Therefore, 7/10 is greater than 5/8. Let's compare these. I'm not going to go through the procedure for finding the least common multiple. I will tell you what it is. If you need to pause it and figure it out, go right ahead. Okay, with 7 and 5, our least common multiple is going to be 35. Some of you already knew that. Okay. 7 times 5 is 35. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. 4 times 7 is 28. 30 is greater than 28, so 6/7 is greater than 4/5. Okay, our next one, 2/3 and 3/4. With 3 and 4, our common bottom number is going to be 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is greater than 8, so 3/4 is greater than 2/3. Okay, we've got negative 3/4 and negative 7/10. Remember, it doesn't matter where the negative sign is, the whole fraction is negative. Also remember, with negative numbers, you count backwards, so the bigger number will be smaller since they're negative. With 4 and 10, our common bottom number is 20. Okay, remember we're going to have negative. These are both the negative fractions. Okay, 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. 10 times 2 is 20. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 is smaller than 15, but negative 14 is bigger than negative 15. And that's that answer.